All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Dangerous Ideas with Dino. We've got a cracker here today for you. We've got the man himself, Tyson. Some say the most controversial groom from MAFS of all time. I think Harrison and myself will give him a run for his money, but we're going to talk to Tyson and really dive deep into what he's all about and what controversies been going around him, and just have an open, honest chat. So here we go.
We're going to go deep into Tyson today.
How deep?
Not balls deep, I hope.
We're going to go deep.
Really do?
Yeah, all the way. Tyson,
Thanks for having me, guys.
thank you for being here, mate.
Yeah,
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming in there. So let's kick it off. Okay, so we're all friends here. But
I hope so. Yeah.
there's been a lot of chat. Look, I haven't watched the show. The purpose of today was basically to get to know you and sort of talk about the broader things, right? But there has been a lot of talk online, social media about racism and homophobia. So Dean and I kind of wanted to touch on that, if that's okay.
I'd love to.
Okay.
We wanted to sort of kick off today just by letting you put that to bed.
Of course.
Yeah?
Of
Yeah?
course. Yeah.
So would you rather suck 10 dicks once or one dick 10 times?
Probably neither, actually. Is my answer that? Even if it's a joke, people will say, yeah,
He's homophobic.
I can't win. I can't fucking win, so I have to just zip that one.
Yeah. No response. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we can put you to bed. He's definitely homophobic. Look, I wanted to say, I think everything you said when I saw that first episode, I didn't really disagree with anything you said, really. And I guess I wanted to ask you, watching back those first episodes, where you said the stuff about a submissive bride, is there anything you would change? Do you stand by what you said? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good question, Dean. So obviously that word submissive does come up a lot in the show. I do feel like that was a word I shouldn't have used at the time. There's a lot of that word does get mixed up. I mean, there's so many different definitions of the word submissive. The Oxford Dictionary has one definition. AI has another definition. Google has another definition. You can look it up for yourself. A lot of different definitions there. For me, what I should have done is use the word traditional. Traditional is more what I'm after. I'm not after a subservient dog. Everyone keeps saying I give up DV tendencies, if you will, which just isn't the case. I've never hit a woman before in my life. I never would hit a woman. I respect all women. Two of the most lovable people in my life are women, my mum and my sister. And I just wish I could have worded things a little bit differently and tweaked those words. Traditional is what.
Yeah, that word submissive for sure. You say it has a few different meanings. What did you think it to mean when you were using that word? You just
You're never gonna treat your partner the way you treat the backpackers that are tied up in your basement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this guy said. No, but I guess for me, submissive. I was this is what I was thinking at the time. Mind you, the word submissive actually got brought in by the producers, not me.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So they brought that word in.
And
How
I
did
still
that
remember.
happen? Tell us about
I still
that.
remember. So they pulled me aside and they asked me how things were going with Steph and I at our wedding.
Yeah.
And they said, do you reckon she's submissive or do you reckon she's masculine?
So they introduced you to that word.
They introduced me to that word. And the same with when she walked down the aisle and I said she gives me woke vibes.
Yeah.
Because I watched the first episode and I was like, geez, why'd I say that? But then I remembered it was the producer that said,
Really?
does she give you woke vibes? What kind of vibes does she give you? Woke vibes?
Right.
And I went along with it because I thought it was kind of funny. It's she gives me woke vibes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that sort of just blew up in my face.
Interesting.
But like I'm saying, a lot of what is said here is manipulated by the producers and they love the rage bait. And that's what I've unfortunately brought to this season.
Yeah.
And they do use a lot of baited words.
I would agree with that.
Unfortunately, I did fall into that trap.
Interesting. That's really interesting, man. So you say you would, in the past, before shooting, you wouldn't have really used the word submissive.
I wouldn't have, no. I would have used the word traditional.
Okay.
I would have used the word traditional, just 100%.
Describe a traditional relationship dynamic, male.
I think traditional to me is this is how I got raised and this is what worked for my family. So the male in the relationship is the provider and the protector. And I think the female in the relationship isn't below the man or anything, but I feel like the female is the one that nurtures, the one that looks after the kids whilst husband is out working. The one that, wants to cook and maybe bake and clean if she wants to. I know it's a two-way street, men have to put in as well, like it's not just all up to her to cook and clean and whatnot.
Yep.
But that's sort of my idea on the whole traditional wife thing. Like, I don't mean it in the sense of
So you don't want like a late 30s modern woman that's like racked up on pharmaceutical drugs, antidepressants, that wants to be a boss babe at home, doesn't want kids. You don't want a modern woman.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't want that. I want someone.
You're misogynist.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm a misogynist. Yeah. I'm really not. Yeah. But and I'll say that for the record, I'm not a misogynist. I'm not homophobic, and I'm not a racist. I really think I'm a realist. People might beg to differ. I do come across arrogant on the show, and I feel like for me, that was something I put on.
I didn't think you came across that arrogant, to be honest.
No,
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't see that.
Okay.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that want to use words like arrogant, or he's a narcissist, and those kind of words that they're either just kind of haters, or they're jealous, or they're just these traditional, really hardcore feminist types that just whinge about everything, and they're going to use words like arrogant. I didn't really think you came across as arrogant.
I'll say the reason why I thought I came across arrogant was certainly during the honeymoon. Steph and I had an argument actually, and I think that I
was that one comment. Yeah.
And I think to Steph, what was the comment again?
You said something like, "Look, it's your loss. You're missing out on all of this." Okay, that was a bit arrogant.
All right, so that was a bit arrogant. And look, I can't take accountability there. But the thing is, sometimes we say these things. Like I said as well, my body's like a Ferrari. It's high maintenance. But the thing is, it's a joke. Like, people look into this way too much. People actually think like, I saw these comments saying, "Oh my God, he actually thinks he's a Ferrari." Well, no, I don't think I'm a motor vehicle. I'm a person, but it's a joke. Like, people don't understand that it is a reality TV show. You do say some controversial things, and you do say, you joke around as well, just to try, get a bit of cringe bait.
Well, Dean considers himself an arrogant misogynist, so you've impressed him.
Okay. Yeah. So people call my body a double-decker bus. So, Ferrari, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big boy. Look at this.
So let's keep going then. So we've got the misogyny part out of the way. The next question I wanted to ask is, there was a little snippet that I saw on Instagram the other day about the word submissive, and like they've really latched on to you using the word submissive. And I know we touched on it, but I just wanted to give you another chance to sort of explain. Like, describe to me, because I know you would have done this to produce it. Yeah. Describe to me your ideal partner. What you would, if they walk down the aisle or you met them out in public, just giving you an example. Yeah. What's your,
ideal partner?
Yeah. Yeah. Dream
girl. Yeah, for sure. So for me, I think you have to have that initial attraction. I feel like attraction plays a huge role in a relationship. It's not everything, but attraction is paramount. It is important. I think as well, personality. They have to have a like-minded, similar personality. They got to not just be your partner, but also like a best friend as well. And that makes sense. So for me, there has to be an attractive component there, similar-ish personalities, and same views on politics as well, because I've got my right-wing views, and if I'm dating someone that has complete left-wing views, I feel like would clash. So I think it would be good to have similar political views. It'd be good as well to date, a Christian girl. Like, that's not a deal breaker for me, but I've really been trying to get in touch with my spiritual side. I've been going to church a lot more. Good. Because I'm not the perfect person, as we clearly all know. But if she went to church, I think that'd be a benefit, because I think she would as well have those more traditional values. I think she would want to have kids, and I think she would want to, cook and do what a traditional wife does. And that's not to say that I don't want her going out and working or whatever. If she wants to work, that's completely up to her. But I wanted to know that, given the opportunity, if one day we start a family, she doesn't have to work. I'll happily provide for my partner, and I'll happily protect, and she can live and all of us can live the best life possible.
Mate, and I thought that was great. You said that you weren't just saying it from a place of, I want to control a woman. You said, I'll back it up. I own my own house. I've got the money. I will support you. You even said something like, I'll pay for a maid to come and do the cleaning and all the hard yards bullshit. so you can be the nurturer.
Yeah.
You know, you backed it all up with solid, you know, supportive factions of your life that you're actually going to support this person in many ways. And which makes me lead to the next question. Have you had other women reaching out to you since the show and having positive feedback going, hey, Tyson, we love that about you. Have you had any women reach out and say, we love what you said, I would be happy to marry someone like you? Have you had much positive feedback from
I've
women?
had a lot of positive feedback.
There you go. Tell us about that.
So it was actually good getting positive feedback. You know, you watch the show and you see all the negative articles about me. And it's nice to get women message you and say, look, I think people have misunderstood you.
Yeah.
Understanding 100% what you're saying, maybe didn't come across in the right way using, you know, the word submissive, but I understand what you mean in regards to wanting traditional wives.
Yeah.
And they understand that. They message me, and I've actually got a date on Sunday.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
What's his name? Oh, hey, his name's John. But yeah. So
Just circling back just real quick. So I got the church thing and I got the traditional values. I didn't quite get to the end of you describing your ideal woman.
yeah, okay. So physical characteristics for me would be a woman that takes care of herself. Okay, so a woman that obviously goes to the gym, takes care of herself physically. I go to the gym every day, sometimes twice a day. I take care of myself. So my lifestyle wouldn't necessarily align with an obese person's lifestyle, an overweight
All right,
person.
I'll just leave then. No worries.
He's not asking to date you, bro. Yeah, I know, literally. But so for me, you know, that is an important part of it as well, is a female that takes care of herself, because I love to be able to say to my future partner.
So you don't like old fat chicks, basically, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but what does this girl look like? Like, describe it to me. Is it
Honestly, it doesn't matter if she's blonde, brunette. It doesn't really matter. Blue eyes, brown eyes. I could care less. I think just at the end of the day, if we have that attraction, we have that attraction. As long as they physically take care of themselves. Once again, I'm not fat shaming anyone. I'm not fatophobic. I'm just saying, like, it's just my lifestyle. That's how I live my life. I love running. I love lifting weights. I love swimming. I love doing all that. And I wouldn't be able to do that with a person that is, you know, overweight. It's true. And it sounds bad. I know people will judge me for saying this, but
No.
it's
Just
just
near
my
to
preference.
judging you,
And
right?
you know what I really dislike is the double standard nowadays. Women can say, I want a guy over 6 foot. I want a guy that makes 6 figures, you know, each year. He's got to have a house. He's got to have this, and he can't be short. And they have all their expectations and what they want in a male. But when I say it in regards to what I want in a female, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
And that's what's really annoying in all this.
I did an interview a while back with Jackie O, and I'm not going to go into my stuff too much. Don't worry. I did an interview a while back with Kyle and Jackie O back when they were on the air,
Yeah.
and Jackie O was like really trying to nail me down about the double standards in dating, and she was saying like, how come? And I'll touch on this with you in a minute about the body count, but she was saying like, how come a high body count on a woman is devaluing, but not on a man?
Yeah.
And just on your point then about the height thing in dating, I think it's a double standard that Hinge and Tinder have height markers in your bio.
Yeah.
Oh, they
But
do.
men can't search via weight, you know, 100% or attractiveness.
Yeah, you should be
Yeah,
able to filter by
Like,
weight.
what if the app rated the women as soon as they signed up out of 10?
Yeah.
And then we just say, oh, we only want to bang 7s and above.
Yeah, exactly.
So it filters out
Exactly.
the lower 90%.
100%.
Why can't we do that? But when women go on the dating apps, they just go 6 foot and above.
6 foot.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
And so every 5'7" guys are suddenly 6 foot guy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Otherwise you get filtered out.
Exactly.
I find that a double standard.
It is.
You know?
I'll tell you another double standard. I actually just got interviewed before, and it was a female interviewer,
Oh, yeah.
and she started asking me very sexual related questions.
Right.
We have
Saying-
it's coming.
Saying
What are you talking about? You asked him how many dicks he would suck first question. Fucking hell.
oh boy, it's worse. Sorry, go on. But this, yeah, but that's better. But this,
Yeah.
the interviewer was being legitimate. She says something along the lines, I can't word for it, but something along the lines of like, when you're having sex with your partner or with
Yeah.
a woman, you look at her in the eyes, do you feel emasculated? Or it was something like that, something along those lines. And I said, no comment, that's bizarre. Next question.
Yeah.
And then she asked me what my favorite position is and all
Yeah.
this. It's like, well, I said this to her. I said, well, isn't that a double standard?
Yeah.
Imagine if I asked you those questions. I'm gonna go asking you those questions. I'd get grilled.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd get grilled.
You would. You would. But look, there are some double standards between men and women because men are bigger and stronger. Women can't defend themselves as much. Men are
Driving standards, double standards.
no, but men are more likely to harm women and rape women and all things like that. So I think men do need to be a little more cautious with what we say. And it's understandable that women are going to be a little bit more protective and a little bit more. But I see what you're saying. This woman is coming out and being openly sexual with you.
Yeah.
It is a double standard that if you went and did that back to her, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
But with double standards, we need to realize we do recognize that men and women are different. We don't want men playing in women's sports, for example.
Yeah.
So there are a difference between men and women.
Yep.
You have to take that into account when it comes to those types of conversations about those double standards, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel there are double standards in that respect. And I feel what I'm saying is that reporter can kind of get away with it because you're a bigger, stronger, tougher man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know what you're saying.
Like, if you did that to her, it is a little bit inappropriate.
I don't agree, and I keep signing up to women's boxing classes because I always win at those things.
You always win, yeah.
So I did want to just come back to because I think, did you finish your point?
Yep.
Yeah, I did just want to ask you, just point blank, do you think a high body count devalues a woman? I feel like I have heard a talk around a high body count and a woman's value. So I want to ask you it's a two-part question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about a woman having, say, 5 to 10 sexual partners or 20 to 30 sexual partners? Like, give me the ideal range. Obviously, 0 would obviously be. Everyone wants a new car, right? We don't want the secondhand rent through fucking 250,000 miles. Yeah, you know,
Of course.
Lancias.
Yeah.
We always want like but let's talk realistically. Like a handful, say, it would be ideal in this climate, right?
I think, yeah.
But then also, how does that tie into, like, how do you think that ties into a woman's sexual value? We're not talking about like a person's value yet. I feel like that always gets misconstrued.
It does, yeah.
It's like, or you saying I'm not a good person. No, we're not saying that. This is not what we're actually fucking saying. And that is that I'll find you less attractive if you've banged 300 guys than if you've banged 1 or 2. Like, pretty simple fucking concept, right?
I think, exactly. I think for me, you know, if a woman has a body count below 20 nowadays, I think that's actually a good thing. Obviously, less the better. But I feel like, you know, I said this on MAFS, you know, if a female has a body count over 50, getting to the hundreds plus, I feel like there's a problem there. I just don't feel like anyone in this day and age should be sleeping with that many people. And it might sound like a double standard. They might, you know, people might say, well, you're a guy. Like, why can you sleep with all these women and why can a woman not sort of sleep with all these men? I just think that personally, from a woman's sort of, I don't know, from, how can I put this? Looking at it from a sexual standpoint, from a woman's view, I think they're more emotional in that aspect, in that area. So I think the more sexual partners have had, and I believe the studies done on this as well. I remember I read a study somewhere. It actually suggested that the more sexual partners a female has, the more likely it actually damages those neural pathways in the brain. That those neural pathways that actually lead to pair bonding.
Yes.
And also cheating as well. I feel like if a partner, and I know women that have done this that have high body counts. I'm not gonna name names, but have had high body counts, and they cheat on, and some of them have cheated on their partners. And I've known this for a fact because they literally told me. And I was just like, man, like, that's just disgusting, quite frankly. So to answer your question, man, that's why I'm concerned in regards to a female with a high body count. I think pair bonding is an issue.
Right.
And I think also...
so you think the opposite doesn't happen with males? Their pair bonding isn't impaired by having a high body count?
I think it can, actually. I do. I think it can. So I think as males, you know, I think we need to be probably a little bit cautious of that as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think... I know it might sound like a double standard. I don't think we'd be more inclined necessarily to cheat. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
I tend to agree, and I can't even really put my finger on why, and I don't need to have an explanation why.
I can.
What's your explanation for it?
Well, if you take Tyson, right, he's an attractive guy, takes care of himself, you know, he's jacked, he dresses well.
Sounds like you're talking about yourself, Harris.
He's attractive.
All right, do you guys want me to leave alone for a minute?
He's arousing.
Sounds like this is getting...
But the thing is that to be Tyson takes effort, right? So for Tyson to bang 100 women, he's got to be this. He has to build himself into this. This is all a woman has to do to bang 100 guys.
Not at all.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, bro.
Especially when you
Look at Bonnie Blue, man. She opens a leg, 1,000 guys line up.
That is
Do you
a good point.
think you could
She's
get?
still
Do you
gonna
think
keep
you could
fit.
get 1,000 women here tonight? No fucking chance, bro. Come on.
That's kind of a good point. That is a good point.
Come on, man.
That
That's
is
a fair
true.
point. That's
Yeah.
a fair point.
I agree. It is easier for a woman to
Yeah.
have sex than a guy.
So this leads into the obvious next question. What's your body count?
Good one. I'd say for me, it's probably honestly just being dead honest. I'm not counting. I don't have a list.
Yeah, so I know guys that do that and girls that do that.
Yeah.
And it's a bit silly.
No
but
blokes, you
you
just want
gotta have
chicks.
A rough
of course,
ballpark.
yeah.
Counting just chicks
No, we
only.
have to half that list. No. Watch people now. They're gonna say, "I told you it's bad." It's gonna happen.
That part just to smoke.
No, that's what can happen. Yeah. But I think for me, I think it'd probably be around 20 to 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't.
So you want to go rookie numbers, bro?
No, but I just honestly, like for me, I'm just being genuine here. Like I actually,
That on purpose? Because how
it is on purpose.
so you kept your numbers down a bit, so you're not very promiscuous then.
That's
That's pretty low for a bloke. You over
probably ill.
You what? How old are you?
31.
31. You got your numbers could be way higher than that.
But once again, I do have standards. So
Long
some of
relationships.
these, some of these, and some of the long relationships.
You was married too, right?
I was married as well.
Yeah.
So I was in relationships. I was married, and not only that, like I'm very.
How long were you married for?
I was married for I think it's about a year.
Yeah. Oh
But
wow,
we'll-
that's short.
Yeah, it was very short.
Have you talked about that experience much?
I haven't spoken about it much. No,
Do you want it?
no, I don't mind speaking about it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Before I deployed to Afghanistan, we went to Utah for a holiday. Did some skiing up there, which was great with family. And there's this really good looking receptionist up there at the ski resort. And I said, well, nice.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, that old chestnut. And let me tell you, that chestnut is great. And asked her out, and we just really hit it off. We had that connection, both physical.
So she's American.
American, yeah. And anyway, kind of long story short, I think I stayed in Utah for like a week. We got to know each other. Went back to Australia, and then we decided to meet in Hawaii. Like a few months later, we said, let's see where things go. Let's meet in Hawaii. So we met in Hawaii. Everything went really well. Like we got along super. It was just incredible experience. And anyway, I deployed overseas, and then halfway through my deployment, I went to the States to meet her, and I said, I think she's the one. I'm confident she's the one. I'm going to get engaged to her. So I got on one knee. I flew her to Hawaii and got on one knee, and I think it was like Waikiki Beach, from memory.
Wow.
And asked her to marry me, and things were great.
He was so keen for that family lodging on base, bro. He wanted that family lodging. And
Yeah, I tell you, I was keen. But the thing is, yeah. So I had to go back to Afghanistan, and then I flew back to Australia, flew back to America. We got married in Utah.
All right.
She was Mormon.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
So
that. Mormons.
The Mormons. I'm not Mormon myself. I consider myself Christian, but I'm Mormon per se. There are some slight differences there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
They do have polygamy, right? Still, there's polygamy a thing still in that community.
it is,
Yeah.
but only in certain parts of the Mormon community.
Yeah.
And she was, yeah.
She wasn't into that kind of
No,
thing.
she wasn't into any of that. And anyway, she flew back to Australia, and we lived together. And this is something I learned: is you don't really know someone until you move in with them and get to know them. So I moved in with her, got to know her, and she's a great person, 100% great person. It's just, I think we started arguing over like how we're going to raise our children. I don't
Right.
want my children to be Mormons,
Right.
even though I'm married a Mormon, go figure. But I just thought that maybe our kids could be, Christians, but not necessarily Mormons. And
What
that
were the
was,
key things about Mormonism that you didn't want your kids being exposed to?
like they go on missions. I think all Christian churches do this, but they go on like missions to like Africa for like 2-3 years. And I said, well, my children don't want to do that. They don't have to do that. Like, I'm the discussion.
She was pretty adamant that they.
And she was adamant
all
that I
those
to do that, and they couldn't watch cartoons
Uh-huh.
and couldn't drink caffeine. Just all these little things. And so we just had some disagreements there in regards to how
Are they
they're raised.
vegetarian as well?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not. So we just had some disagreements there, and she was really missing her family overseas. So I wanted to live here in Australia. She wanted to move back over there, and essentially, I don't want to move to America. I'm happy here.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's got really homesick, and we just decided to end it because she wasn't happy and I wasn't really happy. But we ended it on mutual terms. Like it wasn't like if people will somehow twist this and say, "Oh, he beat her up" or some crazy shit,
Yeah.
Because if you look at social media, that's what everyone's saying about me. I'm this woman B or whatever.
Yeah. Correct.
So it was a mutual thing. We decided to break up just because we both just couldn't really see.
Yeah.
eye to eye on certain things in regards to raising children and all that sort of stuff. And we just thought that what we actually did was she flew back to Utah, and we just said, look, we'll have 3 months without talking to each other. And after that 3 months, we'll see how we're feeling about one another. Then we called each other 3 months later, and the spark and the connection kind of died off, and we just decided to part ways because we didn't want to do a long distance thing. And that's really it.
Yeah, look, and that's the thing. And when I went through it, I was married to an American woman as well at age 23.
Oh, yeah.
I know how it goes where you want to propose and make that work because you've fallen in love.
Yeah.
And then the reality kind of sets in when she moves to Australia and you live together, and things can fizzle out and things can change, and you realize what everyone's really about. And so I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
You can relate.
Can definitely relate.
Yeah,
Definitely relate. I ended up lasting 10 years, which was a way in the time, but so I can relate to that, man. But
hard, eh?
just long distance is really hard in general, and at some point, someone's got to make a decision to move to the other country, and that's a hard thing to do. You're leaving behind all your friends, all your family. So I hear you, man. It's a tough one.
It's tough.
But on that, you've just talked about your Afghanistan and your military experience. I'd like to go back a little bit and hear about that. What got you into? Was it the army? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was a security guard for about 6 years in Surface Paradise. So my
Were you in the nightclubs and stuff, or
it was more like shopping centers,
right?
Hotels.
Yep.
It was a dead end job, and I was getting nowhere. And
Most of those guys think they're special forces.
I know, and they wear like these vests. Yeah, so it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a security for 6 years. I was living paycheck to paycheck, still living with my parents. I was like, man, something really has to change here. So I decided to join the army. I thought that maybe that could, I guess, change my ways. I could move out of the house, save some money, and some good super. And I did that, and it was a great experience. I met a lot of mates along the way, and I've got no regrets joining. But that was the main reason why I joined.
What was your role in the army? What were you doing? What were you learning?
Yeah.
What did you learn? Was it a good experience?
It was a really good experience.
Yeah.
Really good. Like, the deployment was a really interesting experience.
Yeah.
And you make some really good friends along the way. And it didn't instill like discipline in me, as cringe as that probably sounds. But
yeah, right.
I remember prior to joining, I didn't even know how to make my bed.
Wow.
I remember I didn't even used to wash.
So you said it did help you.
I
with
lived like
discipline?
a pig.
It helped you with discipline a lot.
100%. 100%. Seriously, I didn't used to wash my clothes.
Yeah.
And it sounds really bad, but like people used to come up to me at the gym and say, "Bro, you reek."
You what?
Oh, you reek, like you smell. Because I was
reek?
only
Oh
16.
my God.
I was only 17, 18 years old at the time.
Holy shit.
So I didn't know how to take care of myself.
Wow.
I didn't know how to take care. And my parents just actually, they were at that, when I was at that age, my parents actually got divorced.
Right.
And, that was hard going through that. And it took a profound effect on me. And for me, I don't know what I was doing there with my life. I got kicked out of school, and
Wow.
I
What did you get kicked out of school for? What were you doing?
Pardon?
What were you doing at school? Why'd you get kicked out?
Oh, I threw a cork block at my mate. I was just joking
Right.
around. He was having a bad day, and I threw something at him, and he just started throwing punches. So we got into a fight,
Yeah, right.
and then I got into another fight about a week prior to that, and then they just said, "No, you're out of here."
Wow.
So I kicked out of school, and it got bad. Like, I even had to go to like Woolies and sometimes like steal food.
Wow.
Because I couldn't afford to live, and it was really, really tough. So that was another reason why.
At the time.
I was living with my dad, but after the divorce, he didn't really have much. Like, we lost pretty much everything in the divorce. It was a really nasty divorce, and we're living in this real shitty place in Southport. And he was going through a real tough time, my dad. And he was always there to support us, though. You know what I mean? He was always there. He was going through we were going through a tough time.
You have brothers and sisters?
I do have a sister. Yeah.
What's your sister do? Well,
Just quickly, just real quick, I want to start just before we move on.
go on.
Yeah.
People are gonna. I was listening to this through the lens of the audience as you're talking.
Yeah.
And someone out there is gonna listen to what you've just said and ask if your father's experiences of the divorced have shaped your opinions on women. And I want to ask you, how did your father talk about your mother?
Yeah.
And has that reflected on your idea of a relationship?
That's a good question.
Good question.
No. So to answer your question, my dad has never done anything bad against my mom. It's a bit of a controversial topic. I won't go too much into the divorce, what happened, but I don't think the divorce itself has necessarily instilled these, I don't know if I call it values or these things I want in my partner. I saw what happened as a whole, and it was very unfortunate what happened because we lived in a big multi-million-dollar house. I was a rich kid growing up, and you don't know what you got until it's gone, But yeah, sorry to answer your question, man. Yeah, I think I don't think going through that has necessarily shaped my mindset around how a woman should be treated or anything like that. If that's answering the question.
But you've gained more of an insight into how important it is to find the right person and have a long-term relationship that doesn't end in divorce.
Of course. The right person is obviously paramount. But my parents were married for like 30 years, man. And I think just over time the spark died and they just agreed to disagree on certain things and the love wasn't there anymore. And sometimes it's better just to go your own separate ways.
Man, so you went from a rich kid living in a fucking mansion to having to steal shit from Woolies to survive?
I do, yeah.
Tell us about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there was
what is the best thing to steal if you're hungry?
chicken breast.
Exactly, high protein. And
But then you got to cook that up. Don't you want something already made? I don't know.
No, if I'm gonna do it properly. Get some good quality high protein food. Yeah, but once again, but this happened. This is a long time ago. But it had to be done, man. I was trying to figure myself out. I was still a kid, 17 at the time, and my dad was at a support.
How did your dad get primary care? Did you choose to live with him?
It was yeah.
Okay. Your sister lives with your mum?
No, she lived with me and my dad.
Right. So your dad got both kids in the divorce.
Well, it was complicated, and I won't go into it.
Okay.
Because it does get a bit personal.
Let's move on. Do you want a question about?
I did about Your sister has reached out to me. Okay. When you first came onto MAFS, I think I did a post about you, or I was in support.
Yeah.
And I said because I've copped a lot of shit, same as you, and I didn't see anything too wrong with what you said. And your sister reached out to me and just said, "Hey, thanks for supporting my bro."
Yeah.
Something like that, just something really brief like that. I was like, "Yeah, no worries, seems like a legend." Tell us about your sister. Who is she?
Just really quickly, I just want to quickly throw this. I just want to really quickly throw in on the back of Dean's question.
Yeah.
Is in doing the research for today's interview with you, I've never seen Dean do so many hours of research on one person's Instagram page.
Dean, what's going on?
Dean spent hours on Madison's Instagram.
Oh man,
Harrison
hours.
subscribed.
I've never seen
subscribe to what?
Dean locked himself in a room and was doing research. I don't know what you were doing.
I was doing a lot of research. I like to be thorough with my research, and I have done a lot.
Doing research on me?
No, it's just. No, I'm just kidding. I had a quick glance at her page, and she seems to be some kind of model or something. What does she do? What's she all about?
My sister, she's a beautiful person. She's probably one of my best friends, actually.
Yeah.
I'll support her in every way, I support her in everything she does. Sometimes, people ask the exact same thing. They say, what does she do? I see bikini photos on mine.
Yeah.
What's all that about? And she was a bikini model. She'd been doing that for years and years and years. And she also does Twitch, so about that online game. So,
right, okay.
Yeah.
So she's a gamer, Twitch gamer.
Yeah,
Okay.
she is. And she's done very well for herself financially out of that. And for the record, there's no OnlyFans or anything like that. There's nothing like that. So, yeah, they're damn right. Yeah. So yeah, I want to squash that because there's so many people saying, oh, you're an OnlyFans.
That's why you're here.
Exactly.
Let's talk about it.
Exactly.
But to be honest,
Exactly.
you're talking about women's body counts and whatnot. People see her page. People think, does she have a high body count? Is she a promiscuous person? Or is she more someone who's just using her sexuality and her good looks and whatnot to make a bit of money?
Yeah.
And great. I'm all supportive of that. Good on her.
Yeah.
She seems like a really nice, smart person. She's very supportive of you.
Yeah.
But is she someone that would have a high body count person?
I
Is she a high
don't
body
think
count
so.
person?
I know my sister really well.
Okay.
And
Is she in a relationship?
she's been in a relationship 10 years.
Right.
Been in a relationship 10 years.
Cool.
I think she's just using her sexuality and her looks, obviously, to
Smart.
make money.
To profit.
And it's nothing. If it was nude or something like that, I would be completely against that because I don't.
Harrison was thinking about doing the same. Nude gaming.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
So really, is that all right? He get a lot of subscribers, all right?
I've got the body for it.
He's got a rig.
Yeah, I've got the body for it. So I just thought I'd. But it's funny, like back in
The reason I was asking is because Harrison wants to know how to get into that industry.
back in the day,
Bikini gaming model.
but when I said I have a twitch, that was like that's a medical condition.
I got that mixed up.
Yeah, bro. No, not only is Dean a misogynist, there's also an ableist.
Oh, okay. Is it
Right. Which leads me into another question. And just so you know, like neither of us are trying to pry. We're kind of asking the questions that the audience
All you like,
is going to ask. We're not trying to cross any lines, just saying.
of course.
But I did want to ask. Someone sent me a snippet of what MAFS posts on their Instagram pages and stuff.
Jeez, yeah.
And there was, again, I don't want to talk about maths, but it does lead to some good questions, which is this idea of two homosexuals adopting children. Now, to be kind of honest with you, like, I'm all for like people having the freedom and to love a child, I think is the most pure, the best thing you can do in the world. But there is something about a child who is adopted and it's already a position of disadvantage. But then to be adopted into a family that's different, right, would be adding a layer of hardship.
Yeah.
And then to navigate like your own sexuality, and would you feel comfortable with that, discussing with your parents, especially if you're straight, you might think there's something wrong with you. Just as like, I imagine a gay child would feel something wrong with them if they've, like, I don't know how Dean came out with his parents,
What's the
but
question?
I'm getting there. What I'm saying is I don't know how Dean came out to his parents. What I'm saying is like, I mean, like,
See, but my sister is gay, and she came out to my dad, and he couldn't believe it, and it was a big kerfuffle. So that's a whole other story.
well, the question's pretty simple, right? Like, clarify how you feel about that and why.
Yeah. So that's a good question, Harrison. So for me, mate, I've said this all along. I think that a child should have a mother and a father in a family dynamic. That's how I've been raised. That's what I know. So I can't speak on all homosexuals and lesbians out there, what it's like to have a kid or what they do with that child. Like, I think, it's not something, it's once again a very controversial topic, but it's not something I'm particularly used to. Now, I think the child would, to an extent, be very confused. I do, because, I think 99.9% of families obviously got, a mother and a father. There's obviously single mums out there. But I do think if a child coming into maybe a homosexual lesbian family, I think the child would be maybe confused to an extent. And I don't know, nothing against homosexuals or lesbians, but I just think it probably would be more suited for a family with a mother and father. That's just my view,
Did you have a question about domestic violence?
Yeah. I mean, just on that though, what you're saying, I think that there's nothing wrong with us all understanding and appreciating that the natural order of things is that male and female are the mum and dad, and that families are a dad and a mum. And that is, I think, the best way to raise kids. You have the feminine energy, you have the masculine energy. You have those two energies. I don't think there is a problem with two gay blokes having a kid, and I have friends, specifically my old manager, Shane, who, whatever, it's a whole other story. Shane, two guys, adopted a kid, great dads, two dads, great fathers, great role models. And I don't think the kid will necessarily be confused.
Okay.
I do think the kid will we're missing something, missing that mother, that feminine energy that you can only get from a mum, an actual mum. And even in their relationship, one of those guys is probably a bit more feminine, but it's not the same as having that mum female energy. In saying that, you can have a relationship where the mother's a junkie and the dad's a piece of shit. So that kid's going to be raised in a horrible situation. So neither of those factors are.
Yeah, but there's also cases where two gay guys will adopt two kids to abuse them.
That's exactly. And there's everything else in between. And everything else in between. There's always going to be exceptions to a rule, right? It doesn't mean that we can't say that we think, and look, at the end of the day, without straight people and male and female, there's no world, there's no society. No one's having kids.
Yeah.
You need male and female just to have kids.
It's true.
So we need to be very supportive of the family. And I think this is something that we've lost in feminism. This is the worst part about modern hardcore feminism. It is now devaluing traditional family values.
Yeah.
And
They've been doing that for
downfall. They've been
decades.
doing it for decades.
Yeah, for over
It's
50
getting
years.
worse.
I think it's a terrible thing for our society. I think it's bringing about the downfall of Western civilization. I think it could be a Chinese psyop, or even China is trying to undermine, China or one of these other forces is trying to undermine family values and family culture in the Western world. Well, look at what's happening.
Undermine the family.
We're not having kids. We're not having kids. We're not breeding. So we're getting outbred by every other group that there is.
Sure.
A Western civilization is being taught to hate itself, and we're being taught to celebrate every other type of relationship, and that a traditional relationship is a bad thing. This is what I'm getting at. It's almost like now a traditional, and this is why you're copying shit, because people think a traditional relationship is a bad thing. No, it's a bloody good thing. It's an amazing thing. We need more of it.
Yep.
We need more of it. And this is my problem with you copying shit and people like you that say these things about, it's almost just like saying traditional values. Now you say that and you cop shit. And that's wrong. It should be the opposite. We should be celebrating traditional values.
100%.
We should be celebrating people that want to have kids and raise them in modern Christian valued families.
Love it. Dean for Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what? I'll say this, not to cut you off, but just getting back to that homosexual topic about you know, kids and all that. I drove past a kindergarten the other day, and the kindergarten had a gay flag.
Can't do that.
Your bracelet went off.
I was going to say, Dean can't be within 500 meters. Yeah, literally. I drove past this kindergarten, right? And the kindergarten had a gay flag up, a transgender flag.
Oh, okay.
And what really pisses me off is that this is confusing kids, right? There should be one flag up there. There should be an Australian flag.
Yep.
That's my opinion. And I actually said this on the show. I didn't go to air. So this is something that I want to mention because I didn't really get to talk about it with anyone.
Yep.
But en masse, when people ask me, what's your idea of a woke individual? I'll talk about the characteristics of a woke individual, which is typically green hair, typically overweight. True. Not saying all overweight people are woke. I'm not saying that, but typically the way people are, they don't take care of
And there's not many good-looking woke.
There is.
Yeah, name a hot woke person.
Well, I don't know any. But one thing I did say on the show,
Mate.
Shrek's Carl.
Yeah.
But one thing I did say on the show that didn't get mentioned in regards to this whole woke thing, the leftist thing, is I mentioned immigration,
Right.
which is a huge, very
red
controversial
topic,
topic, which I won't go into, but I mentioned immigration, I mentioned gender transition, and I also mentioned the burning of the Australian flag.
Yeah.
And I also used that example of the transgender flag and the gay flag at a kindergarten. I think that's completely unacceptable.
I agree.
I think it should just be one flag, Australian flag. And also as well, I said if you burn the Australian flag, you should get locked up. It's absolutely disgusting.
I agree.
It's a disgrace to this nation.
Yeah. I agree. And the thing is, the Australian flag does mean and does represent acceptance and progressiveness. Australia, we have allowed gay marriage. I'm not anti-gay. I have 5 gay sisters. I have plenty of gay friends. I am against some of the extremities of the LGBTQ2IS plus movement.
Well,
is some of the more extreme things in that movement. One of them is transitioning very young kids. And this was on the Mardi Gras the other night. They had this float where this is a 9-year-old girl who's been transitioned at age 9. I'm like, what?
Age 9.
Yeah, see, I think that's child abuse, man.
That is child abuse.
I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
As far, even trans, when you turn 18, if you want to transition or whatever, 16, 18, I can get it. I can't even argue with that too much because it's your body.
Yeah.
You can do what you want to do. I don't really understand it, but 9 years old, man.
That's child abuse.
That's child abuse. But
Straight up.
the Australian flag stands for, if you're gay, it's okay. If you're an immigrant, it's okay. If you blend in with our culture, if you want to represent the same culture, if you stand up for our values.
Yeah.
So the Australian flag, and it represents acceptance of Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
We help Aboriginal people so much in this country. So we don't need the Aboriginal flag. We don't need the trans flag. We don't need the rainbow flag. We just need the Australian flag.
I feel like
I feel like one flag is uniting. I feel like multiple flags
it's dividing.
It's dividing.
100%.
Right? Yeah, and it creates too much secularism.
Yeah.
No.
I do think that the burning of the Australian flag on Australia Day is just, that was heartbreaking to watch that.
Yeah.
So bad.
It's been fucked up.
So much disrespect.
And
And a
it's-
country that's
yeah,
amazing
If
country.
someone was
I know
going to
you have.
Afghanistan, how does that make you feel? Did going to Afghanistan and representing your country over there, did that make you more patriotic?
I've always been patriotic to this country. I've loved this country so much. Honestly, I'd die for it right now, as cringy or cliches it may sound.
No, it's awesome, man.
But this-
Thank you
that's
for your service. Honestly,
that's not-
Thank you.
That's not
cringe or cliche
No.
at all.
I know, but some army guys go, oh, he's cringe, he's mentioned army, whatever. But the thing is, this is the best country in the world as far as
I
I'm
agree.
concerned. And people say to me, I want to bring this up as well. People say, well, why do you have American flag up in your garage? All the comments, because I've got American flag up in my audition videos, American flag up.
Right.
I'm like, oh, some people are talking about espionage. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
The reason why I got that flag up, because that flag was on my base. That flag in Afghanistan, that American flag was up. I did a trade with an American soldier. I got that flag. That flag had seen some shit. It was there for like 6 years.
Wow.
So I got that flag. We did the ceremony, got the flag down. And I've always hung it up because it's always been a memento. Like, it's got dirt on it. Like, it's a nice flag. But people, man, they're giving me so much shit over having the American flag.
Silly.
It's crazy.
That's silly. And this is a big problem, this anti-American sentiment. A lot of people don't understand how much we owe America, how much innovation America has given to the world. Computers, the internet, everything. Like YouTube that we're going to be watching this video on, Instagram. All comes from America.
Porn.
Gay porn. He's
Beans. Not trying to come out in the interview, bro.
like so America.
Ever since they trans Dean and fucked up his pussy, he's been like so.
He's
sorry.
I got my period at the moment. So it's that time of month, boys. Just relax. But I love America, man. I love America. It's not perfect, obviously. I love Trump. I got my Trump cleaning sponge.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I wish we just had the hats together.
I love America, and I think a lot of people throw the baby out with the bathwater when something bad happens. Oh, all of America is bad, or like people just love to blow that way out of proportion.
Guys, I've taken a massive 180 on Trump, man. I was like, first term, I was like the biggest Trump supporter.
Why?
Right? But second term has been the biggest just flop from Trump. Let's talk about it, right? The Epstein files are a joke. Yeah, what they've released is so redacted to the point of like, why is Ghislaine Maxwell being tried and being held in prison if she's not guilty of anything?
Yeah.
Because the files don't make it seem like anyone's guilty of anything, right? Now Trump's doing Israel's bidding in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We're bombing an innocent country that's just trying to develop itself. Now, every country coming out of the industrial age goes into the nuclear age.
Yeah.
Western developed countries have done that. Why are we holding back a country in the Middle East from doing that? It poses absolutely
They want to destroy the West.
no. It poses absolutely no risk to us.
I mean, what's
Right.
is on that, Tyson?
They can get nuclear armament anytime they want.
Yeah.
They want the nuclear capability to provide power to their fucking people. They don't have coal to burn like we do. This idea of like,
for a weapon, they're trying to get nuclear weapons. And
I think
like
we've
Japan
sucked
has-
up too much of the propaganda, bro.
You've sucked up too much the other side.
I think.
And we got an actual soldier here who's been set off for this.
That's what I was leading to. I want to hear
What's your take on it?
Well, there's clearly a lot going on over there at the moment. Once again, very controversial topic. I think with guns.
That's something a spy would say.
Yeah.
That is something a spy
That's right.
would say.
That's right. Yeah. I think it's really sad that, poor children, women, men are dying in Gaza. It is sad. It's happening in Israel as well. But I think I probably need to educate myself more on that topic before I actually give a fair analysis.
Boring. Did you have that question about? I really want to ask that. You would ask that question.
There's a lot of social media buzz and talk, negative shit about you, right?
You better believe it.
One specific one, there's a guy called Christian Hull. He's like he's a comedian, he's a gay guy. I love his shit. I've been following him for years. I think he's really funny, right? He's normally just comedy and lighthearted kind of funny stuff. He has come out today or yesterday and posted something where I don't think he mentions you by name, but it's inferring, in my opinion, he's inferring towards you.
Yeah.
He says something along the lines of, why is Channel 9 platforming dangerous men like Tyson? Why is Channel 9 platforming these kind of men when Australia has this high domestic violence rate and 1 woman per week is murdered by their partner?
It's your fault, Tyson.
Yeah, that's the thing. They blame it on
Channel
me.
9 doing this and blah, 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 and basically making this connection between domestic violence and women being murdered.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
Straight up, it's borderline.
Question.
It's borderline a defamation case. It's absolutely disgusting that people out there aren't smart enough to realize, 1, it's a TV show. 2, I haven't said anything that can make me look like a DV person that would assault a female, but it's completely inappropriate. I don't know where people got this DV thing from. I think it's from the word submissive. I think they think I'm going to chain up my wife and beat her to death or something. I don't know. But it's absolutely inappropriate that these people keep mentioning DV in my name. I'm not a violent person. Like, I'd never hit a female ever. I never will, never have. And I'm so sick of seeing these articles coming out referring to me as a domestic violence individual when I'm clearly not. I've been misrepresented. I've used the word submissive, yes, probably not the best word used. Could have used the word traditional. I maybe did come across a little bit arrogant and controlling on the show, maybe. But to put me on the same pedestal as a domestic violence person that would murder his wife is absolutely fucking disgusting, man. It's absolutely disgusting. And these people, I wish I could sue every one of them. And there's a lot of people saying this. I wish I could sue them because it's absolutely disgusting. Well, I'm inclined to do it. But it's absolutely disgusting that they're doing this to me.
I agree.
It's so fucking insulting.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the cowardly thing about it. They won't, a lot of them, some of them probably will. A lot of them won't mention your name. So they haven't specifically defined you, and they're implying it. There's another one called Tarang Chawla, who I've had ongoing disputes with. He did the same thing to me. And I don't want to talk too much about my
Wanker.
experience on MAFS, but now you've said this about the word submissive, they did do the same thing to me.
Yeah.
I said a few things about traditional roles. They cut a promo of me sitting there like this, and they put a graphic behind my head with the words obey.
Really?
Obey. And that was on buses, it was on billboards, it was on TV promos, on the cricket, everywhere, making it out like I wanted a woman to obey me. So I never said the word obey. I wouldn't say that word. I don't agree with that word. And I was seen as the obey guy.
Yeah.
So I can 100% see what the producers have done here. They've put that word.
It's actually a pretty sick slogan that put behind you, right?
I liked it. That's my logo.
It's actually
good.
good.
Yeah.
Obey, but just to take the piss out of it, because at the end of the day, you got to have a laugh with this man. And this
It has to have a laugh. That's why we're here, right?
bullshit gets you. So you have a lot of supporters out there. I posted about you, and a lot of people said they love what you said, and people said I like this guy.
No, not us. Not us. Not other big.
Someone. Next door, Nate.
No, you would have a lot of support out there. I'm glad you said what you said about that, the comment and the domestic violence. I also agree. I think it's absolutely disgusting and disgraceful to try and link what you or other people have said on MAFS to domestic violence and women being murdered in Australia. It's disgusting. And it's absolutely any murder of a woman in this country or any country is a horrible thing. But in Australia, we have some of the lowest domestic violence, lowest murder.
One of the safest countries on
one of the safest countries on the planet.
Yeah.
And we have proper record keeping as well. We actually keep records of when women are beaten or killed. A lot of other countries don't even keep record because women aren't even seen as valuable people. So it's not that if a woman gets killed for an honor killing that happens in a lot of other countries, it's not even put on the record as a murder.
Well, and that brings me to this. While all these people coming against me saying I'm this domestic violence person that murders women, assaults women or whatever, what about in Afghanistan, what's going on over there in the Islamic
They never talk about
culture?
They won't talk about
The women can't even learn. They can't even go to school. They got to cover themselves up so they can't get raped and stuff. It's like, well, you guys are, everyone's sort of focusing on me here being this terrible person, but what about those millions of women, what they're going through?
One thing no one talks. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good question.
I want to see what did you see in Afghanistan? Did you see that kind of culture over there?
100%.
What happened?
So the culture that I saw over there was obviously completely different to Australian culture, Australian way of living.
Right.
From what I saw, just my personal experience, I used to see the men used to dress up the little boys as girls.
I've heard about this.
And I think they used to call them tri boys. I mean, if it was the correct pronunciation on that one.
Yeah.
So, and then Not all, but I think a lot of
Did you get dressed up personally?
I did. Yeah.
Does this traumatize you?
I up. Yeah.
So senior out in the Melbourne Muzzy, Barcher Buzzy or something, and they dress up the little boys to go and flirt with the older men because it's haram for men to be flirting with younger women. Obviously, the women are all covered up, so they dress up these young boys as females so they can like flirt and dance with each other.
Exactly.
Did you saw this?
We did see it.
Wow.
And just also as well, like just the way women are obviously treated over there, they're treated like dirt.
Yeah.
They're going to dress up. You know, you're wearing the burqas, the old letterbox burqas.
Yeah.
And
I used to work with a guy who was in artillery.
Yeah.
And he did 2 tours of Afghanistan.
mm,
And he said the thing that fucked him up the most was watching a child get raped.
really,
Yeah.
luckily I never saw
Not the war,
that, but
not
yeah.
the shooting people, not blowing stuff up, not seeing things explode from a kilometer away.
Mm.
It was watching a child get raped.
Well, that would be very traumatizing.
Mm.
Very traumatizing.
Yeah. And exactly not what you've said, but what we're talking about here.
Mm.
He witnessed it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they could do.
Yeah.
Had to stand down on it. They couldn't do anything.
But that's the thing. You know what?
But that fucked him up a lot more than anything he saw in war.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And it would imagine seeing a child get raped. Like it's absolutely disgusting. But that's the thing. Like no one really talks about that. Everyone's focusing on me, saying I'm the problem. You know, it's men like us that speak up. To me, you want traditional values.
This is the point. They're saying it's a cultural thing, and that even though they're not directly accusing you of domestic violence, they're saying that Channel 9 platforming someone like you contributes to the culture, which over time and over, you know, all that influence can lead to domestic violence, which I completely disagree with. I think that's fucked. I think there are other factors in domestic violence. We all know the factors. It is alcohol, poverty, remoteness. They're the 3 main factors in domestic violence that we know from the statistics.
Yeah.
And not traditional values. Talking about, I want to, like, if anything, a lot of traditional males, most traditional males wants to protect women.
Yeah. And
help women and will fight, will give their life for their woman.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's so fucked.
To me, I don't see, having met you and spoken to you, I've met people that have committed domestic violence.
Yeah.
And they are kind of a type of guy.
They've like
You don't strike me as a guy that
No,
and to me, honestly, you epitomize a lot of what's right in this country. You know,
Oh, thank you.
you're a guy who's self-motivated, you take care of yourself, and you know what you want. And I find it extremely hypocritical that when you say, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship, even if it's not orthodox or if someone considers that it is, or should be orthodox, right?
Yeah.
This is why we're having this discussion.
Yeah.
I feel it's completely hypocritical for people to hold that against you when if a woman says that she doesn't want to get married until she's 30 and she wants to sleep around and all that sort of stuff, it's kind of empowering. But you saying, I don't want that. I want traditional values and I want a traditional relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's what I personally want.
Mm.
It's akin to I remember there was a conversation I saw where these people were all kind of debating the body count topic, and this woman was kind of saying, well, my body, my choice, and if I want to sleep with 100 men, that's my choice. And you know, for you to shame that is like kink shaming or shaming me as a person, right?
Yeah.
I kind of see like women and it's like, you know, left-leaning men, let's say, will kind of support this idea or this notion of like free sex and, you know, like the typical hippie shit in the 60s, right? But then when you come in with like this sort of like more sort of Christian Orthodox viewpoint of the world, they want to shame that. And I actually think that's a lot more holistically beneficial to society than spreading STDs, having sex with random strangers. Like, I feel like that's more degenerate. Kind of more degenerate behavior.
It is.
Now, what you're saying is like, no, I want something that's like insular and, you know, religious and kind of like, you know, and I want to bring children into the world.
Yeah.
That kind of thing is like society eroding.
I know.
And what you're asking for is kind of like society developing behavior.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
And to just go on to that again is that I find it extremely hypocritical when a woman will sit on a couch and go, like on that interview I saw with you on the MAFS after dinner thing, and that woman was sitting across from you saying that you wanted a dog, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on a second, love. You'll go into a corporate setting, right?
Yeah.
And you'll work for a boss and be submissive to him. But then you'll come home and you want to be the boss babe in the house.
Yeah. It's like, how does
Like
it
a masculine man doesn't want to contend with a woman in her masculine.
Yeah.
Right? Two masculine men punch each other in the fucking head. I don't want to come home and have to like, not fight with my partner, but I don't want you on my fucking level. Like, I'm the man.
Of course.
I'm comfortable with where I am. I don't want you meeting me here. Like, I want you meeting me in your feminine so we complement each other. I don't want you coming home and fucking trying to outdo me as a man. No, it's like, I mean, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you fucking think you are? And then, you know, following on from that, it's like, I had another point. Yeah, that I saw this. I watched this clip.
Yeah,
right.
Clip. I want to ask about that.
So just real quick.
Yeah.
I watched this clip where these guys were sitting in a row of supercars, right? Like Lamborghinis and McLarens and things like that. And they're sitting in this row. It's about 3 or 4 cars in front of this guy. And it was like a first person viewpoint. It was like a 15-second clip.
Yeah.
And this woman was going from car to car down the line. And she gets to this guy's car and she leans in the window and she goes, "Nice car. Can I suck your cock?"
I love your car.
Thank you. Thank you. Huh?
Sorry. Can I suck your cock?
No, thank you.
Can you give me a ride?
No, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Right? And obviously the first 3 cars said no. She's got to this guy's car and he says no. And I remember thinking like, hang on a second. You're a woman who's literally knows nothing about this guy, has just looked at his car, and now you're instantly willing to do the most submissive sexual act you could possibly think of in order to get in this guy's car, right? And you're willing to throw sex out like it's not fucking like it's confetti, right? You women know that
This other documentary, was this a real video?
It's a first person video on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, women,
It's a real video.
it's a real video. Women know the value of sex.
Yeah.
And they know the value of giving that as a value exchange. But then when we talk about it, they get offended because it's like, oh, the men are now peering behind the curtain. The men are onto our game. And instantly what they do is they project and attack you for kind of figuring out the game, if that makes sense. It's the same reason casinos don't let guys that count cards sit at the table. They know the game.
They figured it out. They know it's in or on.
So it makes it harder for you to win if you don't know the game, right? But once you've figured the game out and you're counting the cards, you can win these bets. The same thing works in the dating market. Like, once you figure out how this shit works, and then I've seen you linked to like this sort of like extremist sort of, you know, hyper masculine, like the Andrew Tate, the misogyny sphere, the manosphere. And I just wanted to get your take on this, and I promise I'm leading to a question. So just give me the bandwidth here. So I wanted to cover some context before I go say it. So my question kind of is like, do you think and are you taking talking points from the manosphere? Because in my experience, the thing that is actually converting men to more of like a red-pilled way of thinking, as so it's been framed, it's actually women's own behavior. It's the women walking down the row of cars offering blowjobs to the guy to get in his car.
Yeah.
Guys are watching that going, well, a woman that I like won't even text me back. But if I have a Lambo, I'm going to get blowjobs from hotter chicks, you know what I mean, offered to me. So if I'm a shad, I'll get shad outcomes. And women very seldom want to take accountability for their own behavior. What they want to do is project onto guys like you and go, oh, you've been red-pilled and extremized by guys like
Yeah, they keep saying I'm not Andrew Tate.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, I think that's a good question. I wanted to ask, have you taken talking points from Andrew Tate or other manosphere kind of people?
I wouldn't say entirely. I don't agree with everything Andrew Tate says, but you've got to give that guy credit. He does have a very high verbal IQ. Some things he does say does make sense, but once again, I don't agree with every little thing he says. I usually I see this for myself. Like when I go out to certain places, like back in the day, the Billy Pavilion, you know, or clubs or wherever. Sometimes you see how the women act towards you. Like for instance, I remember I had this one girl the first thing she said was, "How much money have you got?" And the next question was, "How big's your dick?" So, you know, when things like this happen,
Both are small.
well, yeah, I don't know if you saw in the show that Beck and a few other people kept saying it's a small dick. And did you think about it?
yeah.
But could you imagine if I said big vagina?
Big pussy energy.
Yeah, would you imagine the energy? Could you imagine the shit all off?
Yeah, exactly.
It's such pussy and double standard.
It is. That one is a terrible double standard.
Yeah.
So you would.
And I love how the body positivity movement goes straight out the window. You want to make them use it as an insult to you.
I know.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. This is a good thing to talk about. You haven't taken talking points from Andrew Tate, you don't think, or any other people like that?
Really, it's just my own personal.
So where did these values come from? You think?
Where did this hate from women come from?
Exactly.
Oh, come on. Definitely not a misogynist.
So wait a minute. Did you grow up in the church? Did it come from your dad? Where does this stuff come from? Does it come from the army? Where do these traditional values come from?
Yeah, I think it comes mainly from my family. Like just seeing how I got growing up, like the way I was raised, like seeing what my mum did around the house and seeing my dad go out and working and providing for us. And I think it just stems down to my family. Really, that's where the traditional thing comes from.
Yeah.
But anything else probably comes down to personal experience, maybe with relationships with women or encounters I've had with women, and where I've actually sort of developed my own sort of thought process behind it.
Yeah.
What do you think of women?
Well, I like women. What do you think of women? I love women. But the thing is, yeah, there's a lot of
Not because they're women, because of their behavior.
yeah, like I love women, but once again, I think there is definitely a double standard nowadays, and I feel like a lot of women out there, man, like for instance, what I'm going through with this whole DD thing, they're so quick to judge before actually getting to know the individual. Even with you, man, like you receive a lot of hate from women, and so we all have.
Yeah.
I feel like they definitely, you know, they judge a book by its cover, and actually get to know who we are.
And I think a lot of them are just brainwashed as well. They're brainwashed into certain ways of thinking. And they talk about us being brainwashed by the manosphere. I couldn't even tell you anything that Andrew Tate's ever said. I don't really follow him. And I think a lot of leftists and women are told this certain script.
Yeah.
And the bad guys, every man's a misogynist, this, that, and the other. And they just kind of go along with that.
Yeah.
I think that's really weak-minded of them. But speaking of that, I think what you brought up before about, so you're on the stand after the dinner party show, and what's the girl's name from Bachelor? I didn't want some chick from The Bachelor. I think she's the host of the stand after dinner party.
Yeah.
And she said, what did she say? That you want a dog who's
Originally, she said something along the lines of like, "Are you after a dog?" I said, "Look."
So in low buy, I'm looking for someone who's submissive, and she said, "Oh, you mean a dog who will be obedient?"
Something along those lines. I said, "No, I'm not after a dog.
Yeah.
So I'm not after a subservient dog." And she's like, "Oh, you're after," I think she said obedience, or you're after.
When was this shot, by the way? When was that show?
It was a shot a few weeks ago.
Right. Okay.
And then I just went, whatever. Okay, this is kind of like a sarcastic remark. Like, all right, well, I guess that's what I'm into, you know, because I just went along with it.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have done because it doesn't look good for me. But she just kept pressuring me into saying certain things, and I wasn't getting into it. I just got to the point where I got so sick of talking to her. I was like, all right, well, must be what I want then.
Okay.
You know.
Was that edited? Is that show pretty highly edited? Did they cut it?
Everything's edited. They cut bits and pieces out. It's just like MAFS. It's so fucking edited.
So on MAFS, are there any scenes or things where you were manipulated, that the editing that you've seen so far has been dishonest?
Of course.
What, can you give us examples?
Heaps of examples. I'll give you an example of, I'm not too sure, I think I gave this example already, but when I saw when I saw Steph walk down the aisle, and the producer pulled me aside and said, "Oh, does she be woke vibes?" And I said, "Yeah, she gives me woke vibes." They bait you into saying certain words. The word submissive. The producers kept asking me. They didn't ask me to say it, but they kept asking me questions with the word submissive in it. So I'd have to ask. I have to answer the question with the word submissive in it.
Exactly.
And not only that, with the show itself, like you wouldn't see me talking, but you'd hear my voice in the background saying submissive. Like the show is so heavily edited. Same with the honeymoon. You know, we filmed that scene 3 times. When I walked out, when when I had that argument with Steph and said, you know, you're missing out on this, walked out 3 separate times.
Wow.
That's it. The show is.
Yeah. They back produce things, and they'll come in the next day and say, "Well, how are you guys going?" You say, "Oh, we had this discussion, and he said this thing about, well, you're missing out on all of this." And the producers will say, "Oh, can we recreate that scene? We're not faking it. We just want to get on footage the thing that actually happens."
Exactly. That's
Back producing.
Exactly.
In the TV industry, it happens all the time.
Exactly. And
yeah.
this exact same thing happened in our unit because we had an argument because I was speaking to an ex-partner whilst on the show.
They love that.
I openly admit to that because it wasn't sexting. I was just being brutally honest. But we're still friends. Well, I'm not really friends with her now, but we were just friends. We can talk about that in a sec. But we had an argument in the unit and we filmed that argument like 4 times.
Wow.
Just to get the best arguments. So what I'm trying to say is like people watch the show and like, oh my God, it's so legit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so fucking true.
We filmed an argument 4 times.
4 times.
Wow.
4 times.
4 plus in times. Yeah.
So can you say that again? You filmed an argument 4 times.
So we filmed the argument like 4 times, literally. 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
That's insane.
I know.
How do people
I know.
believe it at this
I
point?
know.
I don't get it.
It feels like when you're there, it actually feels like you're
Do
actually.
you feel like they matched you with someone you're actually genuinely attracted to on any level?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think they do everything for a reason. They want the controversy because if they're actually matching people up, they would actually get along and be attracted to one another. Like, the show would be boring. No one's gonna watch it. They want people to get together that are gonna argue, that are gonna cause chaos because that's what gets the ratings.
Yeah.
What do you think she's looking, Steph?
Steph.
What do you think Steph's looking for in a guy?
That's a good question. I think she's looking for. I think probably someone actually similar to me. Like we did have some little things there that we actually agree with, like real estate. We've got along certain aspects, but maybe someone that's a little bit more. What's the word? Maybe someone that's a little bit more lenient to her way of living.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know. Like I just felt like when I was with her, she was the one in charge. I felt like she was really trying to aim for that dynamic. It just didn't feel like a mutual sort of dynamic, if you will. I don't know if I'm using the correct word here, but
she tried to push this sort of feminist narrative a bit, and that she has this thing in her brain about this feminist narrative about, well, being submissive is automatically a bad thing. And even though you didn't necessarily use that word, she had this idea in her mind that it's just automatically a bad thing. So was she pushing that narrative a bit?
Well, the chicks are always worried about how they'll be perceived if they go along with a narrative like that.
well, I remember with I don't know, Gia, she's on the show.
Yeah.
She called me a right-wing extremist, homophobe, pretty much every name under the sun. But behind closed doors, you know what she said to me?
What's
She said, I agree with everything you're saying.
Really? Wow.
You know what?
And then,
The same thing happened to me.
yeah. So it's so two-faced. Like what you see on camera is so different to what it is on camera.
For sure.
Yeah. It's
People put it on. What other, there are any examples of that? Any other people on your season that are just putting it on you think are a bit fake behind closed doors? They're a different person.
Oh, mate, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like, I'll probably around a lot of the show. Yeah. Yeah. I won't name names, but
Do you feel like you were authentic start to finish?
what was that?
Do you feel like you were authentic start to finish?
I was authentic in the sense of my views and my values, but I definitely did put on a bit of an axe when it came to being the villain. Because from the get-go, MAFS said to me, you've been the most controversial character we've ever had on the show. I think they said that for a reason, because I said I like Trump. And straight away, I knew I was going to be the villain. I was going to be the talk of the town. So I did kind of try to pull off this little bit of like an arrogant sort of, I don't know what, dude, I should just beat myself. But I did sort of pull off this wanted to come across as the villain with a bit of an attitude, you know. I did that, but that kind of back.
You were looking up to guys like us, obviously.
Clearly,
We're actually just arseholes.
Yeah.
You know what? Meeting him, he does not seem arrogant or like a villain.
look, he's just arrogant.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll thanks that.
You seem just like a nice dude.
Genuine glow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll speak for yourselves, boys.
And I didn't really see you as a villain or like a bad dude or like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say the opposite. Man. Like I said, I've been called a pedophile. Well, that's probably the worst thing you can call someone is a fucking pedophile. The fact that they call me these names.
Why are they saying that? Because you said you wanted someone younger than 30.
I think because I said I wanted someone younger than me, which, I mean, why would I want someone older than me? Like, that's a preference.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly, man. Exactly. I think most guys want a woman that's a bit younger than them in general. That doesn't make you.
Well, it's the way I look at it. I'm 31, right? If I meet someone that's 33, right, I need to get to know them for at least a couple of years before I have kids. So she's gonna be 35 by the time she's ready to have a kid.
And then you're into geriatric pregnancies.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, exactly. So for me, it makes sense to be with someone that maybe, I don't know, 25, 27. That's sort of a good neutral age.
Even that, bro. Even that, like,
Yeah.
25, 27 is still, like, that's very mature for a woman. You gotta remember, like, that women mature much younger and they discover the power of their sexuality much younger. And look, it might be controversial to say, but I think a woman's peak attractiveness is in their late teens, 18, 19, up to about mid-20s.
Well,
After that, women don't age the way men do.
plus
Sorry.
also just having kids.
I haven't finished my point. I haven't finished my point.
Yeah.
I don't feel like women age into age as well. Men age, men's peak attractiveness is at 30.
I feel like fun wine.
It's at 35, right? That's men's peak attractiveness. Women's peak attractiveness is like early 20s. And I'll give you a classic example, right? I used to think Margot Robbie was like the hottest thing on two legs. Wolf of Wall Street, Margot Robbie is exactly what I described to the producers of what I was looking for. I wanted a European, and I got that after the show, ironically. But now, Margot Robbie now, is she's hit her 30s and she's had a kid.
Yeah.
Completely different looking woman. And I'm not attracted to her anymore, not even in the slightest. You couldn't pay.
Is it mainly because she's had that kid?
No, I think it's age and children, and and the thing is that women know this, right?
Yeah.
That's why there is a multi-billion-dollar industry dedicated to making women look young, and they're fucking obsessed with it.
Sorry, that's a good point.
And then this is the hypocrisy that we were talking about earlier, is they want to shame you for finding who they aren't anymore attractive.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely truth to that.
That's good, actually.
And I think it's a natural thing. Everyone talks, oh, you've been brainwashed into these beauty standards and you get told that younger women are more beautiful. No, that's just nature.
Yeah.
Younger women are more fertile. We're talking 21 to, like, back in the day, women had kids a lot younger, and now that's demonized. What's wrong with a woman having a kid at 21, 22 years old? There's nothing wrong with that. Even 19 years old, nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's very healthy. Like, from a medical perspective, it's actually a lot healthier.
Yeah.
How has that become demonized? How has it become, oh, every woman has to go and travel and have a career and you need to not have kids till you're 30?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You can still travel after you've had kids. It's healthier for the child to have the kid at a younger age, at like 23, 22. It's actually medically much more beneficial.
And the women that buy into that feminist lie of career first, children second, report the much higher rates of being unhappy. That decision.
I've heard that.
And they go on YouTube, right? Just as an exercise to the audience, go on YouTube and type in women hitting the wall, right? There are thousands of videos of compilations of millions of women crying alone in their cars that they've just got back from like their gynecologist or wherever these fucking tests get done about their eggs. And they're like, my eggs are like nearly down to 0. I'm 35 and I'm this like, high powered, boss babe at work. And I've got all these credentials and, I'm killing it at life in my career.
Yeah.
I've got no man, no kids, and I've never been this unhappy. And the press. And then you look at like these trad wives and they're all fucking happy with it.
Sure.
That's, you know what I mean? The ones that are attacking that are always the ones that have subscribed to this feminist notion that you shouldn't rely on a man. That's how they control you. And this is a question I'm leading to is like, do you want a partner that is kind of dependent on you financially because that gives you an element of control? Or do you want it because it leans more into traditional relationship dynamics?
That's a good question. I want a partner where it leads into that traditional role, the traditional relationship, not so much relying on me because I've got the money and the control. I don't want that. I just want to be the provider and the protector, man. Like, it's that simple. It had nothing to do with control or obedience.
So how would your partner have any power or say in the relationship though? If she's say in a traditional role, she's feminine, she's taking your lead as the man, she's provided you with children, she's a stay-at-home mom. I'm just giving you the example.
Yeah.
How would she then be able to say, Tyson, I don't agree with this. I don't like this. I want to change this. And if you say no, she's kind of fucked, right? Like, so how does that work in the relationship?
I think it comes down to give and take. I think you just need to come up with a solution, communicate with your partner, and just try and come up with the best solution. Surely, if you guys love each other, you can fix it. I really do. I know what you're saying, but I think everything can be fixed, man. Like if she disagrees on one thing and I would disagree on another, I really think if the relationship's strong enough, you can get through anything. It doesn't come down to money. As long as you've got those traditional values, for me, that's what counts.
Well said.
Well, let me ask you, what was, not to get in the whole MAFS thing, but what was your experience post MAFS? Because I've got my experience, what I'm going through now.
Yeah.
But I've always been keen to sort of ask you, boy. Me and you kind of touched on it, but what about at least with you, Dean?
Yeah, man. Like with me, look, I was the villain. I had a lot of haters. I had a lot of backlash in the media. These completely unfounded calls of, oh, he's a domestic violence abuser and this, that, and the other, which is completely untrue. I'm completely against domestic violence. That stuff was hard, man. That was hard. Being articles written about me and people believing those articles and people looking at me saying, oh, he's domestic violence abuser or he's this or that. That was tough for a while.
Yeah.
Saying that, there was just so much fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
I got to do these club appearances. I was, women left, right, and center coming after me, getting paid. I was getting paid $5,000 a night to go and party at a nightclub. I had some of the best times of my life. I had to deal with a lot of the negatives as well, but it opened up doors for me. It got me to experience things that I never would have got to experience without that. It gave me a little bit of a voice with social media.
Yeah.
So it almost backfired on all the feminists coming after me because that inspired me to come out and go, well, wait a minute, I'm going to call you guys out on your bullshit.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of support from women. I had everywhere I went, women would come up to me and whisper in my ear, Dean, everything you said, I 100% agree with. I can't really say it publicly because it's a bit controversial, but I agree with traditional values. I believe that, men should be leaders and this and that. And that opened my eyes. I went, a lot of this is bullshit. A lot of this feminist stuff that you hear in the media is actual bullshit. And so many women out there do want traditional males, do want men to be men, do want men to be breadwinners.
Yeah.
And it opened my eyes to that world. And, I had a great time. And there's the good, the bad, the ugly. I wouldn't take any of it back. I don't regret any of it. It happened the way it happened. And yeah, I thought it was an amazing, life-changing experience. You got to, from your perspective, mate, don't worry about the haters. There's going to be some extreme stuff that gets said about here.
Yeah.
Ignore that bullshit. Focus on the positives. Focus on you've got a great opportunity to have a fun time, have your own voice, speak to a lot of people, meet heaps of women. Women will be throwing themselves at you, I'm sure. So appreciate that positivity and enjoy the ride, bro. That's all I think. I'm thinking you should.
Don't devalue yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't devalue yourself now.
What about you, Harrison? How was your experience after MAFS?
Fuck, I promised Gina I wouldn't talk about it, eh?
Fair enough.
Maybe I had it rough, man.
I'll say a little bit. I'll say a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a guy who's not drinking anymore, and then you offer him a drink, he goes, "Oh, I'll have one." Next minute you're drunk. They're talking about MAFS. Mate, my whole thing was a stitch up from start to finish. Very much like how I see you've been set up. And I genuinely say that coming from a guy who's been in your seat.
Sure, yeah. We can all relate.
Everything you've said tonight, I 100% it resonated because it's like, I feel like I'm interviewing me 3 years ago. That makes sense, right? Just better looking. And mate, my whole experience was a stitcher.
Yeah.
Very similar. I got matched with a girl who was talking to another girl that I was sleeping with. Yeah. I wasn't in a relationship with. The whole media blew this up. It's like I had this secret girlfriend. If that's true, I must have had like 10 secret girlfriends back then, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that really, and I'll touch on what Dean said a minute ago about like, well, I'll call you guys out, was the girl that I got matched with. There was a very interesting voice note that got dropped where she said, if I get matched with him, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to play it up to the cameras. All right. You might not have heard this.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, that's it. The whole thing's a fake.
Yeah,
Right? Like you knew who I was and you were planning this. Every fight we've ever had was orchestrated by you to set me up to look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And you played the innocent female victim. And then following that, when it came out that happened and the evidence dropped, women still didn't care. Right? The most prominent Australian feminists still called me a sexist, misogynist, piece of shit. And you know what? I never wanted this. I never wanted to fight with them. But like Dean said a minute ago, it's like, well, fuck it. Like if you're going to throw spears at me, I'll call you out.
Yeah.
You're a bunch of fucking, rapidly approaching the wall, ugly, unmarriable women.
Yeah.
And like, if you're going to
I got marriageable.
yeah. And if you're going to attack me, I'll attack you where like, well, I know it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Which is the one thing you said you cared about the most was that you wanted to be married with kids. That's never going to fucking happen. And the minute I said that, they lost their fucking mind. I'm back on television. I'm getting offered interviews. And I never wanted MAFS.
Yeah.
Like you guys don't know this, but I got called by the producer the
I
other
did
day.
too. Well, are you saying you weren't? You did have to.
I got called for the show you were on, the After MAFS thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chelsea, the head producer, called me and said, yeah, would you be interested in coming on this show as like a, as a panelist or whatever? Like we'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking serious?
That's all they did to you. Well,
I was like, why would I give you another opportunity to fuck me raw?
Yeah.
Right? And she goes, no, like, I don't want to talk about the past. I'm like, yeah, I bet you don't.
Yeah.
And she's like, we've got this great opportunity. And I said to her point blank, I said, I'd rather stick a fork in the eye of my dick. And then I hung up the phone.
That's good.
I don't want a fucking thing of MAFS. I never wanted it. I went on there as a bit of a laugh, right?
Yeah.
And I got stitched up. And the funny thing was, I described, and this is why I asked you about whether or not you felt like you got stitched up. I described what I wanted. I wanted like a European Margot Robbie and Wolf of Wall Street, like blonde, bombshell, European. I wanted like traditional values because I feel like European women are still more traditional than Western women. I feel like a lot of Western women have been, like their mentality's fucked
Completely
from
different.
modern
Yeah.
feminism.
Yeah.
And so I wanted someone who's not been like, and I found that like Gina is like the best person I've ever met, bro.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And what I got matched with was a fucking big four-headed fucking hobbit from the other side of the fucking country with no intention of ever making this work, who was undermining me the entire time.
Yeah.
And then women look at me now and go, oh, he's exactly like he was on television. Look at, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you made this villain. I never asked for this.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't the villain on television. That's what's funny.
Yeah.
They've made me that after the show because I'm like, fuck you. Who are you to judge me? You're a fucking stay-at-home mom. You know what I mean? You want to call me an ass? Fuck you. Like, so I feel like who I was on television was actually a lot closer to my authentic self, where I tried to talk through issues and resolve things. And once I realized that was never going to happen,
You said to go with it, sort of thing.
yeah. And you know what's funny? That all the people that accused me of the same shit about you, about domestic violence and you're a woman passionate.
Yeah.
Mate, I had 2 women screaming in my face.
Really?
Yeah, on the show, screaming it, and made the show, right?
Yeah.
And it was their big finale. And I said, okay, so that's what you got. And I walked out. Like, I should have been.
Is it community ceremony or is it?
No, this was the last time I saw the person I was matched with.
Oh, yeah.
And I honestly, this is what shocked me. I honestly expected that, and this was naive of me, I honestly expected like the feminist left to go, here's this guy who we have fucking dragged. We fucking hate this guy, but look at how he handled a really intense conflict situation with 2 women that are screaming at him, calling him a narcissistic dickhead and all this stuff to his face.
Yeah.
And he swallowed his pride and he said enough and he left the room.
Yeah.
Right? That moment should have been held up as a fucking guide to men in domestic violence situations as to like, this is how a real man handles a domestic dispute. You go enough and you walk away. I was expecting to get fucking a parade or something. Yeah.
Still waiting for the plaque on
You know what was funny is the hypocrisy was, look at this weak cunt. he can't fucking handle. And it's like, hang on a second.
Yeah, come on.
Would you rather I hit her? Like, what are you?
It's literally what they're like implying, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Win.
You can't.
You can't win.
Yeah, you're jammed if you do jammed.
And this is why I said to you off air, I said, mate, just be yourself. Don't care about what. Because it doesn't matter. Tomorrow you could come out and say, guys, I've created a cure for dick cancer. No one's ever going to get dick cancer ever again. Right? Yeah. And they would still be like,
still hate you.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever you do, man, don't apologize. Don't bow down.
Nah.
These people, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And they're all full of shit anyway. There's nothing wrong with you, what you've said, your values.
Yes.
As we've discussed, you've been stitched up a little bit with the whole word submissive. Yeah. Don't let these people get you down. You seem like a really nice guy.
I just
stick to your guns, mate. And there's nothing wrong at all.
Your guns.
You're a legend.
Always
your legend.
Your guns.
Another guy's down. Tyson, if I was to give you this mug here, which is my favourite Australian rock group, the Peking Cup. I don't know if you've heard of the Peking Cup.
It sounds like a cup.
With a cup of coffee or tea, would you know the difference?
The coffee and the tea.
What the fuck is with the coffee or tea thing, dude?
Man,
does you not know the difference between tea?
I do. It was just a joke between Steph and I. It's a personal joke. It fucking blew out of the water. And we thought this would happen. Basically, we sat at the table and we are just talking about the difference between coffee and tea.
Right.
I was like, what's the difference between coffee and tea? Like, it's all the same.
Yeah.
But clearly, it's not. Like, one's made with, obviously, fucking beans.
And the other one's made.
So he heard it. Well,
Yeah.
And
one's made with coffee and one's made for women.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just like a friendly joke, like a body thing. But people just really.
So you do know the difference between tea and coffee?
Of course, bro.
Do you know what they put in coconut water?
In coconut water.
Yeah. Coconuts, and water.
Fucking coconut water.
This is a trick question.
Yes. And you felt
it's like saying, what do they put in orange juice?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's orange.
Yeah.
Obviously. Is orange the only fruit that's got the color and the fruit at the same meaning?
I believe so. Green apple, maybe?
Probably.
I think it is.
Green apples.
But yeah, it's insane.
Fucking couple of geniuses here in the prairie. In what's in orange juice and why do they call it orange? Fucking great.
Is there anything you felt like we haven't covered?
I
wouldn't have been a massive.
I think we talked about everything. I will say this though. I noticed and this is how I know I've actually, what I've said is right, is great, is because with my Instagram, the amount of messages I was receiving last night talking about, the gay people having kids and whatever. I got so many messages from the transgender community,
right?
Which I was really sort of surprised. Interesting.
Applauding what you've been saying, obviously, yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
And there's such hypocrites because they start calling me out, and there's all you shouldn't judge homosexuals or whatever, which I don't. But then they'll start judging me.
Yeah,
and they'll start calling me out, like saying, "Oh, where do you live? I want to fight you."
Wow, really?
And it's just like, death to heaps, man.
Really?
Heaps, yeah,
wow.
Heaps, yeah. I won't lie, actually.
Who do you think would win out of, like, say, 15 transgenders and you?
Well, clearly me.
In a ring.
Wait, are they transgender men?
Yeah, exactly. You need to specify this.
We're gonna no, we don't want to gender classify them, but like we just get 15 transgenders in the octagon with you.
Yeah.
And we bet on it.
It'd be an interesting one. I'd like to say me, but if it's 15 biological
giant
men,
males,
I'm probably
exactly.
No, but they're all like weakened out on estrogen, bro.
Sure,
so you have
a chance. I've got a chance. I've got a chance. Yeah. They're pretty much got a vagina at that point, then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you had any support from the gay community?
Well, I was
Are any gay men behind you?
Well, there's a lot of
Harrison.
this guy here. Right, I have had a lot of gay people message me, man. Yeah, they say, just come out of the closet already. And it's like, for fuck's sake, man, how many times am I going to say that I'm not fucking gay?
Yeah.
So I have had support in the sense where some gay people message me saying, I understand what you're saying, and some that say, come out of the closet already.
Yeah. Okay. So you have had some support from the gay community?
I've had some support, believe it or not. Yeah. But other than that, man, I think I've covered all the topics, haven't we?
Yeah. I think we have.